something boring or something more interesting, as if this would turn us into a discussion. Because what I came here as is not to lecture you, but rather give you some practical advices of how to start your own company, as how to start your own business. As a little bit background about myself. I'm MD and PhD in the immunology, where they developed the treatment for a disease called lupus. My PhD was licensed by Teva, and for the last 15 years or 20 years, I don't know, as I start my own companies, as all of them are based on my the ideas. Currently, I have 6 companies which are running. And a few years ago, I started a small pharma company where I developed 5 products which are being sold in 30 countries worldwide. As I deal with various fields, each company is on different field with a different team and with different investors, and most of them are in the field of drug delivery, which is my favorite field, and some of them are medical devices, and they are in various stages. There are some clinical, some of them they've passed proof of concept, and some of them just started. As I guess this sounds like pretty successful person, but the truth is that this is a lie. Because I had many failures, as in fact, as I failed much more than I succeeded, as I have few companies that failed. But when you come and you present yourself to the investors and to VCs, they want to hear the sunny side. So you have the sunny side. The truth is much more complicated. And usually, when you read in the papers about exit, and within 2 years they've made millions of dollars, the truth is that they failed, and usually it takes time and a lot of patience. So I would like to talk or discuss with you as how do you start the company, as how do you pick the idea as out of many, as in order to have one good idea, you've got to have the 100 of bad ideas. So how do I pick one? What do I do first? How do I raise funds? Without money, there's nothing that you can do. As how much money should I raise, and where this money would lead me? Would I go alone or with other people, how do I create a team? How do I convince other people to follow me? And a consultant, how do I get free and worthy advices? And how do I approach KOLs, which are key opinion leaders in the field? This is very similar to jump off a cliff, as it's frightening, and it is. But let me try and give you as small insights that I got during those years. So, how do I pick an idea? And then you have the picture here of a roulette. Why roulette? We are all in a field of life science. And it appeared to me that nobody knows at the beginning of a project which project would be successful and which one would not. As I've seen some excellent ideas which failed, and I've seen some dumb ideas which made a lot of money. And so if I have 2 or 3 or 4 ideas, how do I know which one would work? So the academic answer is that during this talk, I'll try and give you some hints of how to pick one. But the real life answer is that really I do not know. Then we have to gamble at some stage. As I hope that there's no one from VC here, venture capital, but usually they know everything. But when you look at their success rate, you see that as it's around 1 to 10 as on average, meaning that they are not so good gamblers. So the first thing that you should bear in mind is that when you start a biotech or a biomed company, you don't aim to today's market, as it will take you a few years to develop the product, to perform clinical trials, to prove it, to go through regulation, as all in all, between 5 and 15 years. So by the time that you get to the market would be absolutely different. Different focus, different technology, as in different areas. So at this stage, all you can do is give your best educated guess, but you do not know. You do not know what would be the ophthalmology market 10 years from today. Nobody knows. You can buy those $15,000 report, then they try to give forecast, but none of them is reliable. So So you should always look at the players, at what stage are they, what's in the market, and what do I have to add to the market as a new drug, a better safety profile, as a better compliance. These are key factors. Actually, as an guess that you're all here, your basics is in science, right? As all of you came from science, right? So we as scientists tend to think that the most important thing is technology. Well, I've got some news for you. Technology is not the most important thing. As actually, as a project is a combination of a few things which are listed here: technology, the clinical aspect, the IP, the patent, the regulatory pathway, and the market. And I'm going to try to touch as each of those elements as in a secret of a good startup company is a perfect merge as of all those five. And even as if you have a very good technology with a good clinical data, as in a strong as IP, a regulatory can kill you. As in fact, a regulatory killed many products. Some of them were very successful. For instance, in '98, I think, I don't know as if you're familiar with the case of Vioxx by Merck. Everybody knows the story. It's got off the shelf due to a very to a very rare adverse event, and this was a multi-billion dollar drug. So all five aspects should match perfectly. And when you start thinking of the idea, you must realize and understand, as in the next stage, convince people why all those would perfectly match. All right, let's continue with the roulette game. We are as in the dream as industry. We sell illusions. Why do I say so? People are looking for the big dreams, for the drug that will treat cancer or cure AIDS or you name it. They want to, as everybody wants to cure the world, as in fact the world is becoming more and more sicker with time. And but when you go and you present your project, you must share the big dream, the big vision, because otherwise no one would invest in you. As you would see, or you already know, money as in funding as the name of this game. Without it, there's nothing. So when I read, when I read a business plan and people are claiming that they would cure lung cancer, so when you read it carefully, as it's not lung cancer, but rather small subtype as of lung cancer, as in within it, not as in all the patient, as in within it, you'd only have as a certain limit of success. So you're going from the big dream into as a quite small group. As I want to remind you that drugs on paper looks very good. They don't have any side effects. They don't have price issues. They look very good, but usually the sophisticated investors are not buying everything that you're selling. There is always the question of presenting one product or one drug versus a technology. Well, usually we tend as scientists to present technologies. Nobody likes one-trick pony. But in real life, as investors, as would really take money out of their pocket or out of the pocket of somebody else and invest them, they would start with one product. And this product should be very carefully selected. And as in the only one as who would select it, it would be you. So this is a very challenging responsibility. Why choose me? VCs, venture capital, receives on average tens of applications per week. As investors, as also receives many applications for funding. This is a rough and tough environment. Why should they pick me? Because I look good? Because as I'm telling as I've picked the right product, you should stick out. You should try and find the investor that your story touches them. Bear in mind that you're dealing with people. And of course, business is important, but eventually it's people. So you must get into some personal contact with those people that will look at your technology and then they'll take the deeper look into it. The companies like Teva receives every day mails from companies that want to collaborate. Usually the answer is no, very politely, but you should know how to get people to respond to you. The market is very trendy. There are already some buzzwords which you would like to invest in. For instance, nano technology. People are saying use this term for the right reasons or for the wrong reasons, but they tend to use it recently. Before that, there was a big buzz with the word SI RNA, and people used it very freely. The investors usually likes to go toward those trends and buzzwords, so try to connect to them. One shot. The one shot issue is very cruel. You have usually one shot for investors. Usually have one shot of picking one product that can go all the way. So your choices before you even start your project are crucial and can have a very strong impact to all your project. And you should always think about the next stage. Okay, as I received a certain amount of money, which is never enough, never. So when, as in how, or what do I need as in order to raise more funds? Which data needs to be generated as in order to go for the next round? Now, this is really it became as a boring lecture. Do you have any questions before we go to the next part? Any? Did anybody here try to start a startup company? None of you? Anyone here plan to start a startup company? No, none of you. Are you sure that I came to the right place?
Yeah,
right.
they will.
All right. Plan. As I'm sure that you all heard about business plan, and as in before you start, you must write a business plan. Usually, if you ask for somebody to write you a business plan, this will cost you between $10,000 and $15,000. It's not a cheap thing. What is the business plan? As a business plan, meaning that you plan as all your business from start till the certain point of sales, of exit, whatever. You analyze the market, you analyze your competitor, you build the budget, and you forecast your sales, etc., etc. When I started this business of startup, it looks to me very silly, because you can write whatever you want, and you can put any figure that you want, and then everybody can tell his own story. Well, with the years, I learned that business plans are good mainly for the entrepreneur. They are good because they force you to sit and think of all the aspects of your company. about the competitors, about the expenses, as about your timeline. Well, the good news is that nobody is interested in business plans anymore. As I think the last 10 years, as I never even once wrote the business plan. So you don't need a business plan. What do you need? You need the Gantt chart. As is, everybody here is knows what is a Gantt chart. So, all right. I didn't bring an example, but the Gantt chart is a diagram that holds all your milestones. Means at every step that you have to pass through your project, as in you attach to it what as the sum as of money that is required for this step. As in startups, you live from a milestone to a milestone, meaning you have to reach the next milestone in order to raise funds. But you should always bear in mind that an entrepreneur is always too optimist. Meaning, as if you think a certain activity would take 12 months, usually this would take 18 months. As in, if you think that this would cost, you would need for this activity $1 million, usually you would need at least double of it. So, as every time that you look for a budget, never aim low. Always aim high. And usually, even if you aim high, you're below the budget that is really required. So all of this should be taken into consideration. Now, there is the story that nobody talks about, and you don't read it as in the newspapers, and you don't, and usually nobody talks about it. This is the big lie games. What is the big lie of the startup industry? When you come to the investor, and usually, as I said before, you're too optimistic about your product, as about the short time that you need to bring this product to the market, and then about the funds that are required for that. As an investor, I would listen to you, as you would get all those documents which you would provide him, as he would invest this sum of money that you requested. Usually they'll invest less than it, because you will tell them as a very optimist story. But these are all lies, because as I said, you need more money and more time. So you reach to a certain point where we don't have any money, as you didn't reach your milestone. Then you get back to your investors. why you must get back to him, because you cannot go to new investors because you do not have your milestone. You cannot approach them. In fact, you have failed as in reaching the milestones within the limits that you have set for yourself, because you had to set this, because as otherwise you won't get the investment. So then you go back to your original investors and tell him, listen, you already invested $500,000, but I need as additional $100,000 in order to get to the milestone. So the investor would look at you and tell you, yes, but you told me that this is what you need, and you told me that this would take such and such time. So you failed. So then you said, no, I did not fail. There were some delays, and there's all these conversations which I had too many times. And eventually, as it ends, all right, as I'll give you the additional funds, but. And the but is a big but. As in the but is, as you would take more shares of your company. Now, you are as in a lose-lose situation. Because if you want take the money from him, nobody else would give you money. So you don't have much options here. And this is why when you read in the newspapers about the big exit, I look down and look what is the equity of the founder. Usually this ends up in a range of 5% or 10%. As bear in mind that this founder started with 100% and went all the way down into 5 or 10. And this is why. Nobody talks about it, but now you know the big story. A presentation. How do I make a presentation, and how do attract my audience? So the average attention span of most people, as including as investors, is 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to give them the elevator speech or the short version of why should they pick you, why you're different than the 99 project that they heard last year, why you are unique, and why with you they have more chances of making more money. As in, usually it's spare them the small details. The details should be there, but don't push all the details at the beginning. This would turn them off. When you prepare for a presentation, I make a few runs among people with the experience who are friendly, as an open with you, as I will tell you the truth. As in always, prepare for questions. People that you, most of the people that you meet, as are not stupid, and they will ask you many questions. I prepare for the tough one because they would come at some stage. Just to give you figures, when as I prepare for a big meeting with the company, which I have next week, we had 3 days of preparations, of all the teams, of writing the presentation, preparing all the toughest questions. I consulted with people from the industry and getting insight of the people that we're meeting. Google on every person that will attend this meeting, knowing his background, knowing his the thing that he did, and as in his career. This is priceless, as it takes as a lot of time, it takes as a lot of energy, but you have to prepare yourself, not good, but very good. Not too long. As I'm now talking for 38 minutes, and it seems to me that it's too long. Never prepare a presentation longer than 20 to 30 minutes. A typical meeting would be 45 minutes, and then you have to leave 15 minutes for discussion and question. So 30 minutes is top. Leave the tedious details of as how do you mix, as how do you create media, as in you grow your magic cells, as in the incubator. As investors, I don't care about those cells. I only care about how those cells I would make them money. So save all those details that would come at much later stage, or which called due diligence stage. Are you familiar with this term? Well, boy, you're so young. Due diligence stage is a stage where somebody is checking all your documents, all your assumptions, all your legal documents. They search everything about you as in your project, but this comes before as a stage called term sheet, which is a good stage, which you get a business offer for your project. A presentation. As I said previously, don't start to attack your audience. Try to tell about yourself, about your unique features. I try to tell a funny story, as it always brings people together. I try to give a story. How did you get to this idea? People like stories. Let me give you as an example. One of my first project was Otic Pharma. As in Otic Pharma, I had the idea many years ago of transforming as eardrops into foam formulation. Sounds very simple, but very straightforward. Why foam formulation? Because the foam, if you apply eardrops into your ear, as in you're lying down, so when you are sitting, the drops falls from your ear canal, as in don't stay long enough. So when I started this project, as I told two stories. One of them was when my kids were younger, they had ear as an infection, which is very common with children. As a young parent, all you care about is your sleeping hours. It's so sleepless that all you care is how I will sleep longer. And when a child wakes up at the middle of the night, as you're giving those eardrops, as he wakes up 3 hours later, screaming again, as you have to reapply those eardrops, you're saying that if I had something which you can give him at the beginning of the night and as it will last all night long, this is priceless for parents. So when you tell those kind of stories, people usually that also have small children are nodding their heads and saying yes, and then you know that you captured your audience. This is the most important step before you even start to tell about your technology and about your market. Connect people to you. Then you usually start with your vision. Where, as in the ideal world, where would I like to bring my project? What is my dream? People want to connect to your big dream. Then you go with the background slides. The background slides are like a funnel, in which you lead your audience to the pathway that you want to lead them to. So you should discuss the problem, what are the needs, what are the disadvantages as of current products, as in what is it as in the landscape as of today. As in I hope that you remember about one of the first the things that as I told you, that your project is not aimed for today market, but the market within 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. Bear it in mind. What's my solution? 2 or 3 slides about how do I solve the problems which current products have. What's my IP? Yes, 15. What's my IP? IP is a patent. Did I file a patent? The answer is always yes, always. You don't start any presentation without filing as at least as an initial application. As we'll discuss it at the next slide also, if I have time. Yes, the next slide. Then you discussed regulation. You don't discuss regulation as in all countries, but usually the benchmark, as you discuss, what's the FDA regulation. As you all know, as you don't know, as in pharmaceutical, the US market as is 40% of the market. Then you discuss a slide as of your timeline and budget, as of the Gantt chart, which we discussed. Then, although people feel very reluctant as of discussing risks that your project is involved, as if somebody would come and would say that his project is risk-free, then usually the investor would free you because there's nothing risk-free. Then you should discuss it openly and honestly. Don't exaggerate as in a risk, but on the other hand, don't ignore them. Always discuss competitors. I don't know as of any technology or product that does not have competitors. As in people want to see that you looked at it. As a summary, you're giving your major advantages as in your potential, as in current market, which is your take-home message. As IP, as intellectual property. As I'm not sure that you're familiar with the term and with the environment. Did you get as a lecture about IP? Yeah? Okay. So I don't know how deep you got into it, but there are few levels of patent protection. The first one is provisional. You all know what's provisional? All right. No. All right. The provisional is when you write your idea, and then you submit it to the U.S. Patent Office. Nobody reads it. Nobody. It stays as in the U.S. Patent Office for 12 months. What is this good for? One, as it's very cheap. The submission costs about $130. But as if somebody would steal this from you, then you can show that you have invented this before you've told him. So you have a worldwide protection, practically, for 1 year, for $130. Very cost effective. So you would go and present your project only after you've filed your first provisional. After 12 months, you should decide whether they go and submit it under the PCT. Heard about it? Nothing. The PCT is an agreement, the treaty, which most of the countries of the world have signed it. And this means that if you submit it as a PCT, are you getting as 18 months protection worldwide for all the countries that have signed this treaty, which is practically maybe except for North Korea, you have the whole world. This would cost you something in the range of $5,000 or $6,000. You see, we're going from 130 to a few thousand. And afterwards, you should go to the national phase. National phase, you should pick at which specific countries you want to apply for the patent. Only at this stage, which can be a few years after your first filed it, you would be examined, as in you get the feedback on your patent. So, for instance, it took me 10 years to receive the patent as transforming as eardrops as into foam. 10 years as in which, as I've raised funds, as I've conducted clinical trials, as I've talked with companies without as an approved patent yet. So this can take a lot of time taking into consideration. So you don't start any presentation or any meeting before you've submitted, as in you have it documented as a provisional application. As I strongly advise you, before you write it, or before you even go to expert, search and look for something. There's a free website like Google Patents, which is very good. Look for keyword. Look as if somebody didn't invent it before you. Most of the inventions, people thought about it before you. You're not the only smart people as among those 7 billion people of the world. This line was written with a lot of scars and a lot of blood. Never write your application yourself. Always go to somebody professional. This costs money, and always let somebody professional write it. The Holy CDA. How do you recognize a young, fresh entrepreneur? The answer is before he even meets you, as he wants you to sign a confidentiality agreement. Before he even talks to you, as or present his idea. Nobody would sign you as an NDA before as he even talked to you. Although as NDAs, as in I've signed thousands of NDAs, although they are important as a statement that people don't want to steal from you. They are very limited. I hardly saw as an ADA that really protects you. So don't run with a template of confidentiality and sign everybody around you. Protect yourself with a patent application. It's much more practical. As I think that we're done, or I don't have more time. 5 minutes. So let's go fast. Regulation. You must address regulation, meaning the approval as in the US as of a certain drug or technology. As how do you know? You do not know. You're not as an expert, and it needs really a specific expertise at a certain field for the regulation. But you can guess. You can look at products that are similar to you, and then test the regulatory process that they had. Can be a regulatory process as of a device, or of a drug, or of a generic drug. As each and one of them is different, and usually the big expenses and the big money lies within the regulatory requirements. All right, that's it. Thank you. As if you have any question, then I'll be happy to have them. And if not, good luck.